So today we're going to learn how to use multiple sources to integrate information and answer a question. This is what we've been exploring the last couple days here. And so when we have multiple sources, different, whether it's an encyclopedia, a website, a book, and a graphic organizer, a picture. There's so many things that give us information. We need to take those multiple pieces of information and put it together in a way that we can be very confident in our answer. And so what we did yesterday, as you may remember, is we took this idea and we looked at the question. If you were sailing by ship, what would be the quickest way to sail from California to New York? And with this, we looked at a book, a digital map, and a magazine. And I asked you to find the important facts that you could get from each of these sources. And so if we look at an example of some of the answers we could do for the book, you could see here the idea that the Panama Canal connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. You may have highlighted that in the book portion here, and that the canal enables ships to sail between the two oceans in half the time. So this is our most primary kind of idea that we want to get out of all of these sources from the book. But we can look at these other sources to make sure that what we're understanding is the full picture and the full detail. So that's where the map, being able to visually see this, helps us to kind of check our answer and make sure we're on the right track. And so with the digital map, you could pull the information, even though it doesn't say this, you can interpret the information from the picture that the Panama Canal is that little passageway between the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. And it's located between North and South America. And so you could see the picture, and you should have some background information based on our social studies unit that we had of how the Panama Canal, you could see North America and South America in this small little passage here. And so once again, that helps us understand, okay, that's better than going all the way around here. If we're going from California all the way to the tip of South America and back up, well, this third source, this magazine, does talk about this by taking a trip and taking a long cruise. And it's something to be for fun, like a fun trip, but it is not something that is the quickest route. And so what we did here, if we look at the magazine, you should have pulled out the idea that one way to sail from California to New York is to sail all the way around the tip of South America, then sail north back up to New York. That's what we got from this magazine. So putting all three ideas together, you did not have to do a whole lot of writing for this. You just had to pull out the important information for yesterday's assignment. Now what we're going to do is think about how to put that information into an answer here. So how do we take our notes and then answer a question? Well, we could use the RACE strategy, and this is something I would think the majority of you have tried in previous years. We restate the question, we make sure that people know exactly what we're answering, and then A, we provide the answer to the question, and if it's multiple questions, we make sure we address each part. C is where we cite our evidence. That's where we give credit to the source. And so if we were citing here the book, we would know the book title, or the digital map would have a title, or same thing with the magazine. Here it's just a general label of book. But if we are citing, we would give credit to whoever wrote that book, whoever wrote the article or drew or designed the map, by saying where we got this information from, because it was not exactly our words that we took and that we already knew. We had to do some of that research. So citing is so important, that we want to show where we got this. And a lot of times you just have to say according to, so according to the book, and whatever the title may be, according to this digital map, or according to the magazine. And you do want to give the title if it provides it. For this example, we didn't give you the titles. And so you cite that according to the text, according to the passage, or in passage A, the author states, or the author writes. You use those terms those are called, when you're trying to give credit, evidence stems. And we'll talk more about providing your evidence and how you do that in the future soon. But after you give the answer and tell where you got it from, you have to explain your own thinking, because you don't want to take too much of somebody else's idea without giving your own thoughts to that. And that's when you elaborate, explain, give connections or details, or talk about it further. So if you have not yet watched this video previously, go ahead and pause what I'm saying and go to the video that I've listed about the race strategy. Just as a reminder, you should have done that first. So now if you look at this, if you were sailing by ship, what would be the quickest way to sail from California to New York? And so the restate question, or the restate part of the question, is you actually say it. If you were sailing by ship, the quickest way to sail from California to New York would be, and you can see this is blocking a little bit here. With this, they give the answer. So that's the R. The restate is in green. The answer here, the fastest would be to sail through the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal connects the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. That's your answer. And then C, it enables ships to sail between the two oceans in half the time. It's located between North and South America. So that you got from the text. But if you look here, what did the author forget? This idea of they didn't give credit to the text. Okay, you should have, as it shows here, said according to the map, it enables ships to sail between the two oceans in half the time. So according to this, sailing between these two continents, North and South America, allows you to go through the Pacific Ocean. And so you should say where you got this information. That's where the cite comes in. Okay, so back to this full screen, you are citing where you got this information, and whether it's from the book or the magazine or the map, the digital map. And then explain, this pink is your own ideas. Whoever answered this, this is not word for word from the text. It says if you sailed from California to New York by sailing around the tip of South America, you would be going really a much longer distance. And so by cutting through the Panama Canal, you save yourself time. That wasn't exactly said in the text. That's putting all your evidence together. And so that would be your explanation part. So RACE. What you're going to do now is just practice briefly with this. You're going to read the encyclopedia, look at this digital graph, and look at the website and do the exact same thing just in your reader's notebook. The question is, explain what are the amounts of fresh and salt water on Earth and how can we recycle it? What I would say, because these are kind of two separate questions, I would go through race and restate each of these and answer it, and then tell where you got your text and explain. So when you restate, okay, what are the amounts of fresh and salt water on Earth? So you're going to restate that into not question form, but an answer form. Then you give your answer. You tell where you got this according to the encyclopedia, or according to this digital graph. We didn't give you the title of it, but you could just say encyclopedia or website. And you give your answer, and then really tell, so what? What does this mean? This tells me that, and in this case, my clue would be, are we needing to recycle it? Because that goes with the next question. This website talks about what, okay, it seems like some of our fresh water is limited. What do we do? And then we can recycle it. And so tomorrow we're going to talk about the answer, but I want you to pause this, read it, and write down your answer to this question using race. And then we'll check tomorrow. This should be in your reader's notebook. Good luck.